This lesson is on just-in-time account creation. This lesson assumes that the just-in-time feature has already been enabled for your CyberQP tenant. This process was covered in one of the tenant setup videos around the just-in-time account feature. A quick review of these settings. If we go into the settings menu, we'll see that my tenant has the just-in-time account feature enabled. We have it enabled for Active Directory, Microsoft 365, as well as local Windows accounts. For the access level, it's restricted to primary and super roles. This means that only technicians with these roles in the CyberQP dashboard will be able to access this feature. To learn how to create a just-in-time account, first we're going to navigate to the customers page. We're then going to enter into a customer. In the left-hand navigation menu, we're going to click just-in-time accounts. I don't currently have any accounts created. To start the creation process for an account, I'm going to click create account. The first option we're given is what directory source. This feature is available for Active Directory, Microsoft 365, and Entra, as well as local Windows accounts. For this example, we're going to do Active Directory. No matter the directory source, the username always pre-populates with your first initial last name underscore JIT for just-in-time accounts. For Active Directory, these accounts are created in a brand new organizational unit that is called just-in-time accounts. The second option we're given is how long we want this account enabled for. Remember, this can be limited per directory source by the administrator of the CyberQP tenant. I'm going to leave mine at the 1 hour time frame. The reason. This is around auditing. This is the reason why you're creating the account. This will generally be associated to a specific ticket number. Additionally, maybe it's part of a specific project where you're performing a task for that project. After you have the reason filled out, you're going to want to select the privilege. Again, the privilege security groups can be limited by the CyberQP admin. For our example, we're going to select domain admin. Next, I'm going to click create account. This new modal pops up that gives me my username and my password, as well as all the information that we had filled out inside of the previous screen. For now, I'm going to click close. Now that I have the just-in-time account created, it will be enabled for the specified time frame. If we need to access our username or password, we can copy it from the dashboard. CyberQP also has a desktop app available where you can copy and paste these credentials. After the specified time period is up, this account will be disabled, the password will be rotated, and the account will be removed from the privileged security group which we had selected. Let's take a look at another dashboard. For this particular customer, I had previously created a just-in-time account which is now in a disabled state. In the event that we ever need to use this account again, all we have to do is click the three-dot menu on the right and click Enable Account. Once again, we're prompted for the reason as well as the duration. For now, we're going to click Cancel. Since the user I'm logged in as has administrative privileges inside of the CyberQP tenant, that is, it's the primary or super user, I will also see other team members' just-in-time accounts. So in this case, I can see my team member Ross's account, but notice how I don't have the ability to enable his account. From an administrative standpoint, all I have the ability to do is go and delete these accounts. This would be the case if he left the organization and I was looking to clean up these accounts. Additionally, if you go back to the customers page in the dashboard, you'll see this global just-in-time accounts option on the left. This will give you a list of all the just-in-time accounts across all of your clients. This also makes it easy if you have a member of the team that leaves the organization and you're looking to clean up these accounts. Now that I have a just-in-time account created, let's watch what happens if I try to create an additional of the same type. I'm going to go ahead and click Create Account. Up top, you'll notice I receive an error message. So each technician can only have one just-in-time account per client per type. The only exception to this would be for local accounts. Let's take a look at a customer that has multiple machines added. So if I go into Create Account, Local Accounts, if I scroll down, you'll see all the machines for this client. I'm going to go ahead and create one for one of these machines. For the reason, I'm just going to put Test. I'm going to select the server or workstation and select the privileged security group. I'm going to click Create Account. Once again, we're given the modal with our credentials and details. I'm going to click Close, and then when I go into Create Account again, you'll notice that that machine is now grayed out. This is the case whether that account is active or disabled. Since I already have one for that machine, it will be grayed out. Notice I can still create a just-in-time account for each of these additional machines. So again, you can have one per directory source, except for local accounts where you could have one just-in-time account per machine. Now the question may come up on how just-in-time works in terms of multi-factor authentication. For our example, we're going to go ahead and create an M365 account. I'm going to create it with a global admin and just putting MFA test as the reason. Here we have the credentials for our new just-in-time account. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we log into Microsoft with these. We're at the Microsoft login page. Let's go ahead and put our username and password. I copy and pasted the username and password from the previous screen. Notice now, since this Microsoft tenant requires MFA, I'll be prompted to set up MFA. On our particular tenant, we have 14 days until this is required. So for now, we're just going to click Ask Later. But what you'd usually do is set up that account using the MFA method of your choosing. This will be set by whatever conditional access policies you may have on your tenant or what MFA methods you allow. So if you use Microsoft Authenticator or you use their passwordless login, that would be an option that you could utilize. Or if you use something like a Google Authenticator or maybe an Authy Authenticator, you could use whatever authenticator of your choosing. Additionally, if your tenant has passkeys enabled, that would also be an option that you could utilize. Now, once the timer is up on these accounts, remember that they're only being set to a disabled state and they're not being deleted. This means that whatever authentication method you set up, you would be able to reuse once you go and re-enable this account afterwards. So for desktop MFA, this would be a similar process where you'd have to have this user set up inside of your MFA provider. And that concludes the lesson on just-in-time account creation.